Hi friends, welcome and welcome back. I'm JJ here at Budget by JJ. I'm a millennial based out of New York City, and I'm on the road to financial freedom using the cash-based budgeting system. So if that's something that you're interested in following along, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now I know I made a target for Wednesdays for these videos to come out, these budgeting videos, but as we all know, life happens. We're gonna go ahead and budget the second paycheck of February. I hope everyone had a wonderful Valentine's Day weekend. I certainly did. It was really fun. We ended up going to the Met Cloisters. It was funny because I was not expecting a hike. I mean, I knew it was like elevated, but I didn't know it was like on top of a mountain. But yes, the Met Cloisters is located at, I believe it's called Fort Tyrone. It contained a lot of beautiful things from like the 16th, 17th century. Famous unicorn tapestries are there. So those were really cool to see in person. I definitely picked up a pin for that. Started off maybe a little rough, but you know, we eventually got over ourselves and we enjoyed the rest of our time there. It's such a special place, and I do highly recommend if you're ever in New York City that you put it on your list. So not the traditional flowers and chocolates, but something like that was only made possible because I had definitely gotten my bonus like I talked about last time. So the bonus came in, I was able to divvy up those funds. I did have some extra funds that I did not even make applicable to the budget. So everything of that was like outside of this, because when you have X amount of money in the savings account, you like want to just pretend that it's not there. That money is like technically already spoken for. Also, my tax return came in, so that was good. The tax returns also were divvied up, so were put to where they needed to go, and then I did have some extra spending money that I had used. So if you see anything new added to this list, just know that it was bought with those funds in mind, or at least initially bought with some of those funds in mind, because I do not skimp on myself. If there's one thing that you gotta know about me, is that I will never shortchange myself. Even on this budgeting journey. I was on the wrong page, y'all. This would have been so annoying if I was started with the wrong page. This budget is not going to reflect any true contributions from those returns. Again, spoken for as if they never existed. So for the bills binder, we have the first category, which is the rent, and that's going to be $460. So that's 4 100s, 150, and a 10. This is the rent for March. In New York, you have up to 5 days to pay your rent, which I think is a wonderful grace period. I wish more places had that. But I typically like to pay on the first, but if, you know, extenuating circumstances happen, then of course, then I'll just pop it in on the 5th. And I always get a money order because my landlord was like, oh, you can pay me in cash. And I said, no. I need a receipt. But my portion of the rent will be fully funded. Now we're going to get into the utilities, and it's going to be $100. I'm going to do two things of 50s because they are actually for separate things, which is the electric and the internet. So the electric will be probably due within the first 2 weeks of March, and internet will be due at the end of the month. So when I do the cash stuffing, I will just say the total amount. I won't mention the breakdown. So if you want the breakdown, you have to come to these budgeting videos. Then we have subscriptions, and it's going to be $36. So we have a 20, a 10, a 5, and a 1. Even though I'm pretty confident that the subscriptions is less by $10, I still am going to overstuff it just in case something hits sooner than the other, and I can just have that buffer there. And it really makes no big difference right now because I still need time to go ahead and rearrange so the subscriptions are coming from the same place. Paying these bills, it's a dance. You're just weaving and bopping, you move, they move. Now we're gonna get into the debt binder, and we have the Chase. Full disclosure, I did make extra payment on this account with some of the money that I got from my tax return, but I want to act as if nothing came in. So I'm still going to pay what I would have paid with the minimum. In total, that's going to be $285, where the minimum for the Freedom was $119 and the minimum for the Sapphire was $166. I'm just going to pretend that that never changed, so that way I can get ahead on this credit card debt. So it's going to be 200s, a 50, a 20, 10, and a 5. Then we have Capital One. And we're going to make two payments, one towards the Saver, one towards the Quicksilver. The Saver is getting 28, Quicksilver is getting 25. So we'll be cash stuffing $53. So I'll do 150, 3 ones. Then we're going to make a minimum payment to the Fortiva, and that's going to be $69. So that's $150, a 10, a 5, and 4 ones. Now we have the pour moi section. So the pay in fours I decided to put under the umbrella of my personal debts. So you can see that this is just consumer debt that I am breaking up over time. But this is what I normally will be spending my money on that I haven't shared before because it's for my collection, the majority of it. So we have the Klarna. The first item in the Klarna we're going to talk about is the hotel. And I'm so excited to say that this will be the final payment for this hotel. So the final payment is $135. So that's 100, a 20, a 10, and a 5. And what a relief. This was a payment agreement that started in November. And now, we're here at the end of February and it's done. I highly recommend that you start paying these things off as soon as you can. Which brings me to the Macy's payment I have, which was the Valentine's Day gift I got from my friend. And this is going to be the third payment at $22. So I have a 20 and 2 ones. It was so cute to see how she displayed them. It was really cute. If I can find a picture, I'll put it here. Then I have another final payment for my last Hot Topic purchase. That's going to be $33. So a 20, a 10, and 3 ones. Now, as that Hot Topic sunsets, so rises another. I have another Hot Topic payment coming up, and that is also going to be for $33. As some of you may know, I have started collecting Thrill Joys, which is another type of vinyl collectible. They ended up having box protectors being sold officially on Hot Topic, which was great because I thought they're only going to be sold on the Thrill Joy website. So I decided to pick up at least 5. I also had a $5 coupon that was expiring. So I had that to throw out the taxes. And I also saw these pins that are on sale. They're these Nickelodeon cassette pins. They're so cute. Because in my mind, it's depressing just to be buying protectors for your vinyls. So again, we have another 20, 10, and 3 ones. Again, that will be the second payment. Now, speaking of Thrill Joy, we have a third payment of Thrill Joy at $39 from the Affirm. So that's a 20, a 10, a 5, and 4 ones. So we have a Zip Macari payment. And I'm telling you guys, I have all of the apps. And it's for $10. Now, I might just pay this off before the next cash stuffing. But for now, we'll just set aside $10. That, I believe, was for also another standalone Thrill Joy, my Creature from the Black Lagoon, or Gilman. So, super cute, super worth it. Then we have the Zero Pro toothpaste, which I was able to use through the shop app. And that's going to be $26, and this is the third payment for that. So this one is also almost paid off. So that's going to be 20, a 5, and 1 for $26. And then I forgot, but I do have a pay in four through Chase. And it's on a Macari purchase. That's going to be $35. This is for a Pop Mart purchase, Addams Family ones. I actually tried to buy off another seller for the similar price, but they got greedy, so I just ended up not counter offering and just took away my offer. I said, not interested. I'm not overpaying for these. I know I paid for these last time. We were just trying to, play hardball, and you know what? Not worth it to me. Honestly, it was just a difference of $20. But I refused. I was like, no, I'm not paying back, because I think it's 1 figure less than what I got from the last one. That I'm only looking for 3 more. Real first world problems. So that's going to be a 20, a 10, and a 5. And then finally, we have the savings challenge for the Saving Saturdays. And we have another $50 that we can apply. So we're actually going to do 5 20s and 25 ones. That's how I've been doing it lately. In that last savings challenge, I was missing $5, and I remembered that I had used that $5 to tip the delivery driver because the weather was pretty bad, and I was like, yo, take this on top of what we had already tipped them. Okay, so these have been tallied up and totaled, so let's go ahead and add this together and see what we have. 700 plus 300 plus 280 plus 100 plus 35 plus 46 equals what? Yo, I just spent an ungodly amount of time running through these numbers. This combined here, the denominations is adding up to $1,461. This, however, for some reason, is adding up to $1,386. Like, huh? It was so bizarre, confusing. I don't know if my fat fingers on this calculator, which has fat buttons, just like there's a disconnect. Something's happening. If something ends up coming up, then, you know, we will deal with that head on. So I'll have to go ahead and look over some numbers again. We're like, what is missing? But it is exciting that we are starting to free up some of those personal debts, because I have yet to contribute to my emergency fund, and that is a huge priority for me. But I wanted to get through some of these major debts before that. And I had already had an idea that by March, I would be more seriously able to contribute to that. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your support means the world to me. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with somebody you think that might like it. Also, be sure to have that bell notification set to all so you're notified for future videos like this one. I'll see you in the next video, which will be the cash stuffing video that will come out on Sunday. So until then, take care. Bye.